Hi. Can you hear me? Hey guys. Okay, good. All right. So, I don't remember how I did this last time. I thought that if I streamed my entire computer, you'd be able to see Photoshop. So, oh, there we go. I think it's working. Yeah, whenever I do streams like these, I always have it open on my on one of my other devices just to make sure everything's going okay. And it's also to check on the chat because sometimes I can't see you guys for some reason when I'm doing it on the computer itself. All right, so for those of you who are new here and were not here last year for my initial streams, I'm going to be doing some editing. Mainly, what I like to do every Halloween is that I like turning my favorite characters into monsters. And usually I draw that, but this time with Hotel Transylvania, I think it's easier if I just edit the screenshots directly. So Erica Van Helsing is a Gorgon, like a Medusa kind of creature, and Johnny is a slime boy. So I'm going to open up from my Finder. I have my edits here, and then on this other tab, I have my pictures that I have yet to edit. Some of them aren't Hotel Transylvania related, of course. Like you can see Jack Frost and Merida here. These were for like some in progress Guardians EU that doesn't really have a story. It's just assigning roles to everybody. Like Merida's gonna be Mother Nature. And I think I was gonna edit her and Jack, like, I don't know, at work or whatever. It's been a while. So, let's see. I guess to start off easy, I'm gonna do this picture of Johnny. So I'll just move this here, just in case any sensitive information is in my documents, but I doubt it. Photoshop has changed a little bit since last time because I've opened up the gradients. I had a pre-saved gradient. Oh, here it is. This thing. So this is the gradient I used to change Johnny's skin. So usually to get that lush orange color, I select as much of his body as possible. Okay. Let's see, that's a little bit of the sleeve. And then this is his arm. And of course, while I'm editing here, feel free to ask me any questions or just talk. I like that part of this can be, like a neat little hangout between me and my fans. And I also want to keep you guys updated since starting in November, hopefully, I will finally have a consistent upload schedule. Because I've got the newest one ready to go. But in the meantime, I've been working on recording other scripts daily so that way I have more to edit and more to keep on track. Now I'm going to deselect the wedding ring later. It's easier if I just select the finger and then surround it like that. And the same applies to the face and the head. Just select everything and then deselect the parts that I'm not going to change, like the shirt. Oh, no, I got a little bit of his hand there. This one's a little bit harder to work with compared to the other two Johnnies because it's a little bit hard to make out his shirt, so you've got to have a trained eye for that. Yeah, his I was planning to do this on Friday, but then some plans got in the way. So chances are I'm just going to be doing these on the rest of the Sundays I have of the month. Especially since this year's trunk or treat for me is on Friday. Oh, okay, let me see. What have you got to say, Hunter? Yeah, Spidarius is absolutely the best character. I think it's funny how, now that I think of it, I feel like Nick Jr. was the original when it came to redemption arcs, because you got Swiper's redemption arc, you got Robbie Rotten having a semi redemption arc, or at least it's not permanent, but he warms up to the rest of the Lazy Town folks later on in the show. He's just, still upholding the status quo despite that. And, yeah, I watched Miss Spider when I was little. I was the kind of person who would watch pretty much everything. I was not picky for television. I can't think of a show that I didn't like back in the day. And even though Nick Jr. was definitely the best network, I still wanted to expand my horizon. Like, Playhouse Disney had bangers like Bear in the Big Blue House. PBS Kids had stuff like Sesame Street and Clifford for me to gravitate towards. And even the more obscure stuff, like Discovery Kids had Pocoyo before it came to the United States, most notably the Latino American variant. So I got to watch Pocoyo there. And I've actually been hyperfixating on one of those shows that I used to watch back in the day from PBS Kids Sprout, James the Cat. Now that is a very obscure show. I'm gonna be surprised if any of you know who it is, or like who that guy is. My boyfriend called me blue, except not a dick. Oh. Well, I mean, I guess to some extent blue is a dick. Just that it's born out of trauma and whatnot. Alright, is there any other... Okay, no, I think that's it. So now this is where... First... Wait, no, that's the wrong one. Adjustments, hue, saturation. There we go. So I gotta find the orange. Like around here, maybe? That's a little bit better. Like less red. Just gonna... Okay, that's good. Yeah. Then I'm gonna zoom out. Gotta add a layer. And this is where I'm going to be adding the gradient. So you see how it covers his whole body, like that? That's the kind of thing we want to get. And then lower the opacity so that we can still see some of his features, like, his eyebrows. But you get that texture to it, Oh, I'm glad you remember that, Hurry. That was a long time ago. Back when I think you compared Blue to the Maxwell cat. Yeah, good times. Let's see. So I gotta look at my reference images for when I first started doing the Johnny Slime edits. Because I can't tell if I had like the yellowish stuff higher on his face and the red near the bottom, or if it was the other way around. I think it may have been the other way, so like this more so. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. But I am going to remove some of these splotches. Kind of looks like Wade from Elemental. You know what? You're right. I can see the comparison. Like, this is like Wade, but lava lampy. Oh, and thank you. I'm glad you like my edits. Let's see. Is this good? Yeah. That looks all good. And I'm also going to open another one of the Johnny images, because let's see, where is it? There's one of them in particular. This one, this very first edit I made of him, like a year or two ago. I don't remember anymore. This one I always make sure to take the hands, so that way I don't have to remake it over and over again. So I'm just gonna copy this here, go back to here, paste. I'm gonna do that with the other as well. I'm using the lasso really quickly, so that way I can get rid of the background in the document itself. I think usually I just drag it in as a separate layer, but I don't know. I think for now, since I've been experimenting a lot with how to do things... Hello there, General Kenobi. Good to see you, Alberto. I don't need to use the lasso, I can just use the quick selection tool. I'm gonna delete this. I don't need it. Oh, that's why I'm on the wrong layer. There we go. And I'm gonna get rid of the dark. The third act breakup or the liar reveal trope. I think it varies, because I feel like to some extent the liar revealed trope happens the exact same way every time, so it can be tiring. And I feel like to make it work, you have to have the right circumstances. Like, compare Ratatouille to when A Bug's Life did it. With Ratatouille, it makes perfect sense because, you know, Linguini fully lied about being able to cook. But in A Bug's Life, it just comes off as being ungrateful because even though the bugs themselves weren't actually warriors, they proved themselves to be capable fighters and, you know, perfect for the task of taking down Hopper. So when they get banished instead for, you know, finding out that their background wasn't exactly what they thought, well, at that point, if they've already proven themselves, then why are you punishing them and then basically punishing yourselves because you have such low self-esteem and thinking you're not capable of taking down the grasshoppers anymore? So why let people try? I think the most creative way I've seen the liar reveal trope happen is in Chicken Run. 'Cause the guy isn't there to fully admit it. Like, he leaves behind the proof that he was lying, and he leaves the colony out of shame before they can chew him out over it, basically. Where he reveals himself and he walks away. Yeah, I really like that version. And then as for the third act breakup, okay, wait, what is going on here? These keep getting linked to layer 1, but I don't want that to happen. Because, okay, this is a new feature. Oh well, I can just figure it out without the... Just have to move this here. So, yeah, there we go, because I can see the dark spots a lot better here. Yeah. And then with the third act breakup, I feel like sometimes it falls into liar revealed territory or like comes with it. But once again, I feel like it depends on the execution. Like with the Wreck-It Ralph one, I did kind of see it as one of the movie's flaws. Like, two of them, technically. Because Calhoun kicked out Felix out of trauma, and she never apologized to him for it before they got together. And then with Ralph and Vanellope, like, when Ralph was doing the same thing to her earlier in the movie, she was the one who basically forced him to hear her out because she knows how to stand her ground. But then when it's Ralph's turn to be heard out, she refuses to listen whatsoever and she blames him, even though both of them had been personally victimized, as Mean Girls would say, by Turbo. And once again, Ralph is the one who has to apologize while Vanellope doesn't. She supposedly seems miserable thinking about it in the Fungin, but because we don't actually get to see it, it's a knock against her, and it's harsher in hindsight because now that the second movie is out, it ended up foreshadowing how she treated Ralph. I think I might turn this up a little bit more. Yeah, up to like 72. Or, no, 67. Okay, that's good. Hey, Mitch. Okay, let's move. Okay, no, wrong layer. Yeah. I think the Ice Age version was also pretty good. Like, of course, Manny was rightfully furious, but at the same time, he was still willing to hear Diego out since by that point, he revealed himself as the liar to protect them. They had good reason to believe him. I think this should be good enough. Now I have to do the same thing with this hand. Okay. Welcome back, Hurry. Joe. Golden wind. Thanks, Mitch. I know you can't be here for long, but I'm glad you got to stop by. And of course, we're still on for our call later, okay, babe? Oh yeah, Mitch and I are dating now. Oh, hi, Timey. I'm gonna turn this around. Okay, I see some more dark spots to get rid of. Okay. Thank you, Timey. I appreciate it. Okay, no, that's... I gotta make sure that I get rid of the spots, but keep the shape. Yeah, this is better. Now I just gotta cut the corner around here. And a little bit of the black lining up here. Thanks, Alberto. Okay, let's make this a little bit smaller. And I may have to widen it a little bit too. Accommodate for the finger. Actually, no, I think I might be... I'll have to make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, I can make it bigger, and then I can copy and paste parts of the goo to the stuff behind. So the Photoshops are what I did last year for Halloween, where, since I love turning characters into monsters, I take it a step further with Hotel Transylvania. Instead of drawing them, I edit them directly to make it look, I guess, more legitimate, you could say? As if it actually came from the movies. So this is my way of having fun, and also having something to stream so I can talk to you guys. And see how you're all doing. Answer your questions. Just talking. It's all fun. Wait, that's the wrong layer. It's this one. Okay. Yeah. This is more like it. I might get rid of this chunk too to make it smoother. Oh, okay. I'll explain that again. So, this is something that I like to do every year now. So, for Halloween, I like turning my favorite characters into monsters. And while I usually draw them, for Hotel Transylvania, I take it a step further and I do actual photoshops onto pre-existing pictures because it's fun to see versions of these that could be, 100% legitimate if you trick the right person, for the lack of a better word. And hold on, I gotta see where I can find. I gotta take these off and remove these parts so I can get his ring in the image. Yeah, and so now this is what I like to do every October. So I'll be doing these streams until I run out of Johnny and Erica streams Johnny and Erica edits to make, and then I'll probably find something else to do afterwards, but this is a good way for me to get my creative fill in and talk to other people, like my fans, make sure that they're doing okay, asking their burning questions, all that good stuff. And, of course, giving updates on my progress. Yeah, there you go. You can see the ring. Now let's see. I think I might edit the gradient a little bit on him. Because I don't think it's orange enough. Because, see, there's a lot of yellow. And a little bit of orange here, too. So, let me try this again real quick. I just want to get this yellow out of here. Maybe. If not, I can still keep it. Oh, Coraline remastered in 3D! Awesome! I knew that they re-released Coraline in theaters last year. I'm so happy I got to go. It was my first time seeing it in the theater because when it came out back in 2009, I was too scared to go. But it was nice getting the experience and getting to see behind the scenes stuff. Who knew that Coraline's hair was made from a Party City wig? Yeah, so up is like less orangey, I think. Why bother? I'll just get the dark orange splots to counteract it. Now I'm going to exit this, and then now I'm going to take another picture of Johnny, because this is going to be harder to do for his splots since most of his hair up here is obscured by the balloon animal. So I'll only have enough room for one splot up here. I might be able to move something down here, like a stick of gum. And then I have to draw on his face. So I think since his skin is lighter up there, which, you know, actually reflects really well with him being more nervous compared to the other pictures where he's happy and he's in the groove. That's what I'm gonna do for his spots this time. I'm gonna get this from the color picker. And then we get a little bit more orangey up here. Let's see how that looks. Once I find the paint tool. It's a pen tool. Oh, okay, mini monsters. I think I've heard of it before, but I've never actually watched it. Sounds interesting, though. It kind of sounds like a Monster High, but instead of high school, it's like elementary. So yeah, a little more of a red spot up here. No, that's too red. I'm gonna switch the order and then try it like this. Where it's more orange. Yeah, that's a lot better. Has-Been Hotel, Hotel Transylvania, Hotel Mario. Well, you know what they say. All toasters toast toast. I'm so happy that that one guy at a convention got Charles Martinet himself to say it. Same with that other guy who got him to say, "That's Mama Luigi to you, Mario. Ho ho." Yeah, this one's gonna be a little harder to see on the neck. But I'm still adding them because I like the spots. Like, the vibe that I always want to make with Johnny Slime is that the spots on his face are never the same. They move around him like a lava lamp. I might add another one on his cheek to balance it out. Scrub all the stuff. Scrub it in. Fill it. I usually don't use the paint bucket tool for filling for small spots like these anymore. Because for some reason it just doesn't fully fill sometimes. Like, it just leaves a little thin outline between the border and where they fill everything in. Okay, I need a little spot down here. Yeah, that's better. Haha, Jonathan, you are being photoshopped! I will never get tired of that meme. So yeah, this is probably what he'd be looking like when he's more nervous. Like, more lighter orange, lighter yellow. Still dark in the hands, because, you know, that's like his more noticeable trait. Now I'm gonna go find another picture of him, like maybe this one? Yeah, this is a good one to use. Because it's very easy to cut out the spots on his head. So I'm gonna test these spots and see which ones look best in his hair for this particular moment. Yeah, because the spots in his hair also change. I like to imagine that if Johnny ever became a slime monster in my proposed ending for, well, like my proposed ending for Hotel Transformania. Also, why did I only get this one? Weird. Oh well, I can deal with it. Let's just use this one. Anyways, in my proposed ending, I like to think that because, Johnny Slime's hands are like, pure slime, just like the rest of his skin. Whenever he runs his hands through his hair, like, it always gets messy and goopy. So he can slick his hair up like he did when he was Johnny Stein back in the first movie. But he also tends to leave behind, like, parts of his slime from his hands, and they end up looking like wads of gum. But not in a disgusting way, You've been binging a lot of Cheers. Awesome! I still have to get around to that one. My parents introduced me to Frasier back in, like, I want to say 2018-ish? But we skipped Cheers. And it was cool because seeing all of the cameos from Cheers, they managed to do it in a way where you didn't need to watch the original show to understand what was going on. It did unfortunately end up spoiling parts of Cheers for me, but it's okay. I don't mind. No. There we go. So this looks a lot better. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, and then I gotta rotate it right on the top. Yeah, that's better. Top 10 anime crossovers. Imagine a conversation between Yakko and Drac. And good god, imagine the Warner Sibs invading the hotel. That would be fun. One of my longest internet mutuals, she's still hyperfixating on Hotel Transylvania pretty hard. And we've had a lot of moments where when she shared memes with me where she'd react in character as the Hotel Transylvania characters, I'd chime in with Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. And one of the things that have stayed consistent is that Yakko always calls Dracula Count Von Count, which does mildly annoy him because, it's a Sesame Street reference, and he doesn't like being compared to Child's Play stuff. Not the Child's Play, but you know what I mean. Haha, Jonathan, you are sliming my daughter! That is true. I actually made that joke during the last stream I did last October, where it was, what was it? Yeah. I've got to find it's this one. If it actually adds it to the, yeah, okay, it's loading. That's good. Yeah, this one, see? Where it's implied that Johnny, like, ran his hand through, like, all of Mavis and just left her all goopy. Slimed ya. It took a while to get the slime on Mavis to look natural. But I'm glad I did it, because I got a lot of her upper arm and shoulder, a little bit here, a little bit there, in the hair, on the side of her face. And of course, this is one of my favorite edits for Johnny himself, because look at him, he looks like he's glowing. It's perfect for when you have, like, the bright night sky in the background. Just like this other one, where it's when he and Mavis are walking down the beach in Hotel Transylvania 3 earlier in the movie. Yeah, this one right here. Yeah. Like, the contrast between his slime body and then the little patches on his skin. It makes him look like he's glowing. I really love that effect. I'm still proud of that. What's my race? Oh, I mean, technically it's not a race, it's an ethnicity, but I am Latina. My family is from Argentina, but I was raised in the US, so I consider myself to be Argentinian American. In the Photoshop program I use? Alright, so this is Adobe Photoshop 2022. I think it gets updated like other Photoshops do, but I've been using the same one for a very long time. Oh yeah, and speaking of races, to better justify the difference of names that I use with, V being me and then MK being my shadow avatar, I'm going to start capitalizing on her being a shadow more. So in one of my upcoming videos, I have her say something like, now, shadows don't have races, but my human existence that I'm tied to does, and that means we're blah 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 blah. Is that a hint for an upcoming video? Who knows? And then I think I'm gonna get either this one or this one for that patch right here. I'm gonna do the circular one because it's gonna be a little bit easier probably. And it's still a little bit messy. Oh, it's empty. Hold on. Oh yeah, because this is... Oh, that's what happened. I pulled up the actual Photoshop file itself. That's why it didn't go. I thought I pulled up the PNG version, not the PSD file. Make you smaller. Put you right here. There we go. And that's our first edit of the day. Well, I'll save it later. I'm pretty sure my computer's not gonna crash because I don't deal with those problems on my computer. But, I'm just saving it later because I don't want any sensitive information to be revealed accidentally, I did not change anything. Let's keep this open so that way I can come back to this later. Now, to balance it out, I am going to open up one of the solo Erica pictures, so that way I can do her next. So these are my edits, my pictures to edit. Let's see which pictures of her I should do. Oh, okay, this is a good one. Yeah, devious snake Erica. This is gonna be fun, because the way she looks devious here, because, she's obviously plotting to kill Drac. You only see, one of her nails here, but I want to kind of, extend it and make it look like she goes full Wolverine when she's feeling more bloodthirsty than usual. So now I'm going to start dragging the snakes for her hair, and then... This is going to be a little bit hard, because I want to keep the red tint, but I also need to gray her skin, because that's part of the Gorgon transformation she has, to make her look more monstrous. Okay, what's your opinion on the new Foster's Home preschool? I can't give a full opinion yet, because the show is not out. However, based on what I know about it, I do see potential in it. It's a good stepping stone for Craig McCracken, obviously, so he can make original shows again, since I don't think he's made anything since Kid Cosmic, and it sucks because, they allowed him to do that at Netflix, but then he pitched 10 or 11 original cartoon ideas, and they were all rejected. To think that even veterans can't have special privileges and, getting certain shows greenlit and whatnot. And anyways, back to Foster's preschool itself, which I think it has been renamed to Foster's Fun Time for Imaginary Friends. I do think that Blue and Madame Foster coming back gives them a lot of good potential. especially if they use Madame Foster as a foil to Blue. With her being more experienced, she's able to combat Blue being the role of the person older than the nursery friends who messes up all the time. I've seen people say that they may have to water down Blue's personality for the show, but I don't think that's true because I've seen plenty of preschool shows where you have characters like Blue already, like literally verbatim Blue in personality, like Stingy from Lazy Town. So I don't think his personality is too bombastic. And that James the Cat character I mentioned earlier, he's also a lot like Blue. Except he has like more confirmed post traumatic stress syndrome in the show itself. And he's also a de facto punching bag within his friend group because, they do their best to keep his ego in check, but tend to overcompensate along the way. So I guess as long as they're able to kind of rectify the mistakes they made with uh Blue's treatment from his friends, and he has like a healthier friend group within the nursery friends, then I think I'm gonna be liking the show just fine. And then, do I watch Friends? No, I don't. I remember hearing good things about Friends when I was in high school, but I don't know, it never really appealed to me all that much. I found out that Seinfeld was what I thought Friends would be like. Now, Seinfeld is a good show. I love that one. The massive leak at Game Freak. No, I have not heard about that one. What happened? And then my thoughts on Josh from Blue's Clues and how does he compare to Steve and Joe? That is an excellent question. I do like Josh. It's great that he's able to provide his own flair to the show that the other two didn't have, considering Josh de la Cruz is a Broadway performer. So you definitely get to see a lot of that influence with how he plays himself on the show. I think my biggest problem with him in the beginning was not his fault, but I didn't like that the first season of Blue's Clues and You was just remakes of old episodes, but with Josh instead of Steve or Joe. Mainly because the one thing I wanted for Josh was that he'd be able to stand out on his own, like with his own merits. And he's not exactly able to do that when they're just redoing the exact same episodes, but with him replacing Steve and Joe. Because you're kind of forced to compare him to Steve and Joe. Since, what they did before was a very tough act to follow. But I am glad that they ditched that format in season 2 onwards, and they actually made original episodes for each concept instead of reusing the old ones. Like, there you could actually see Josh shine. Then what other sitcoms do I watch? I don't watch a lot of sitcoms anymore nowadays. I don't really watch TV that much aside from the news. I think ever since The Owl House ended, it's been hard for me to keep up with new cartoons. And, live action shows have been very disappointing to me. I think the last sitcom I watched was Bob Hart's Abishola, and that one went through really bad seasonal rot in I don't remember which season it was. It was either season 2 or season 3. When they brought back the abusive mom to live with the family, that was when I checked out immediately. Because they were trying to humanize her in a way, saying that she behaves the way she does because her husband doesn't love her, and that's why she's basically invited herself into her house and won't leave. Except she's still nasty to Abishola, so that's not really an excuse. And they also tried to make Abishola's ex-husband more sympathetic, even though when he was initially introduced, he was very manipulative, and he initially refused to divorce Abishola properly because he wanted control over her and Dele. But then they started saying, well, he's keeping Dele at his house because he wants to be present in his life. He wants to he wants to repent for all his mistakes, and then in turn, Abishola got worse as a person, like going backwards in development. Since I'm so used to shows like that going downhill, I guess that's why I stopped watching sitcoms. I don't really have faith in them to be consistent anymore. Okay, let's see. What happened with Game Freak? Okay, 1 terabyte of info. Okay, that is a lot. Upcoming Nintendo console? 10th generation of Pokemon. Okay, okay, that is a lot. Is the Nintendo Switch 2 real? You've got to tell me right now. If you can. Yeah, I can see why Blue's crying is funny. Like, a lot of the times it's over the top and dramatic, even if you do feel bad for him. And then Blue versus Blue death battle. How much you want to bet I don't know, it would be like the coughing baby versus the hydrogen bomb because Blue doesn't actually know how to fight. Blue would curb stomp her like immediately. Doraemon 2005 was updated. I feel like they did that with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but I haven't gotten there yet. I just found it yesterday on Netflix looking through the seasons to make sure I knew where I was. Yeah, Seinfeld is really funny. I think my favorite episodes would be the one where Elaine bursts with laughter during a piano concert because Jerry puts a Tweety Bird dispenser on her leg, and that one where Kramer gets the wrong license plate, so everybody keeps calling him the ass man. Okay, let's see. What else? Okay, thoughts on Green Eggs and Ham Netflix. It looks gorgeous, but I haven't actually watched it. Maybe someday I will. I have too many shows on my binge list at this point. According to the leak, Nintendo Switch 2 is being referred to as Ounce. Strange name for a console, don't you think? Yeah, this is, by the way, going back to editing, this is usually why I do the Johnny Slime ones first, because they're way easier. With Erica, it's a lot more elaborate, because she's got the curls in her way, and I end up adding, like, I think, almost 20 snakes every time I do her hair. Because unlike drawing, where you can only do so much. Okay, wait, wrong one. There we go. With editing, it's easier to put all of them together without making it feel like an overload. Like, I think I started using as many snakes as I did when I did. I'm gonna have to, yeah, no, that's a PNG. Well, I mean, I could still bring it in anyway. Yeah, I'll just undo it later. Like this one here. Look at how many snakes I put in there. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't even count that well because they're all blending together. But like that had to be like, based on memory, 15 to 20? And actually trying to draw it instead of putting it in an edit, that would be a nightmare in of itself. So yeah, like with Johnny, it's mostly just changing his colors, adding the hands and the splotches. With Erica, you're not only changing her skin to palish gray, but I'm also changing her eyes red. I add like an overbite fang from the snakes in the movie. Here I'm elongating her nails for the mischievous effect. And of course, the 15 to 20 snakes. That can take a long time. I think I also change her lipstick to be brighter red, because here they kind of look magenta-ish. Probably not gonna buy the Switch 2 until Mario Kart 9 is out. Same. I've always been a huge Mario girly. Mario Kart especially. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to buy with my leftover eStore money because I definitely want to get Mario Wonder and I also want to get what was that other game? Oh yeah, Smash Bros Ultimate. But I also considered getting Princess Peach Showtime, but at the same time I heard that it made the same mistakes as Super Princess Peach in that it's too handholdy, which don't get me wrong, I loved Super Princess Peach. I thought it was a very cute, cozy little game and very fitting in aesthetic for Peach. But yeah, I was not a big fan of how handholdy the parry segments were and how they were all over the level, even if they were optional. Like, come on, Nintendo, your target audience is girls, not preschoolers. All right, I'll check the DMs later, Timey. Thanks. And what's maybe a strange name, but Nintendo's no stranger. Oh yeah, Dolphin and Revolution. You know what? You make a good point. Oh, you've been keeping up with Amazing Digital Circus. Yeah, I love Amazing Digital Circus. It is so good. Justice for Gummy Goo. I'm not even over the new information we've learned about Kinger, which, I mean, I saw it coming, but the way they revealed it was just a gut punch and a half. Like, I have a theory considering what we saw with Pomni's interactions and Gummy Goo and Kinger so far, without going into spoiler territory. So, I know that there have been theories about Pomni because her name is, I think, Russian for remember. Except, now I think that with her name having its significance, whenever she interacts with other people from the circus, they're going to, remember more about their past because of her. I just hope that, I just hope that, what was I gonna say? I forgot. Bob's Burgers and Abbott Elementary. I've heard good things about those two. I've also heard good things about Ghosts. I think they've been showing both the UK and the US version here. Kinda trippy. Ooh, Nitro Rad. Yeah, gotta check out their 3D indie platformers stuff. Kinger versus Columbo. Yeah, versus Dr. Eggman. I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna deselect the nail. And then deselect this nail. I don't see any more because her knuckles are clenched. I think... Actually, no, I'm also gonna make sure that the eyelashes are untouched. You got it really up and close to get the pixels. No, I don't think it's gonna matter with the black because it's gonna be desaturization, but you can never be too careful. So, okay, so there's her skin. Hue saturation. So, desaturating does get rid of part of the red light, unfortunately. Maybe if I do it, like, not all the way, like, kind of like this, yeah. Because I see some of the red still there on her chin and lower cheek. So, like around here? Yeah, I like that effect. Yeah, that looks really good on her. And then, I think just in case, I'm gonna duplicate the layer and I'm going to delete everything on it except for the nail, so that way I can free transform it and elongate it. So select inverse, get rid of that, and then now I'm gonna make it long. No, I'm gonna make it longer like that. No, that doesn't look as good. Maybe I'll move it and copy and paste around the same parts. Like that a little bit, and then get rid of the border. Yeah, it's a little bit shoddy, but nothing I can't fix. Actually, I have a better idea. I think one of these options should allow me to, like, elongate it more naturally. Like, not skew. Maybe it's scale? No. Yeah, that's better. Ooh, okay. That looks even better. Yeah, so now she's got that long claw sticking out. Okay, nervous about the Young Sheldon spinoff. I've heard it's way better than Big Bang Theory, but I have no idea how they handled the affair that Sheldon's dad had, because it seemed like, from what little I've seen, they kept hinting at it, but they never fully committed to it, even though it's supposed to be a prequel to The Big Bang Theory, so it had to be inevitable. Photopea? I've never heard of it. Oh, I'm glad that your family's into Digital Circus, Hunter. I feel like the villain versus antagonist thing trips up people a lot. Like, that's what happened in Inside Out with Joy. So many people's takeaway was that she was the villain. And a lot of people hated her, I guess, for being so peppy and happy, and I guess being a bit two-faced underneath that. I mean, I know most people will ask, why do you care so much about Big Bang Theory lore if the show isn't even good? And truthfully, I don't really care. I just wanted to see some payoff. And I will admit I did used to like The Big Bang Theory back in the day. But hey, I was a teenager. It definitely didn't age well, though. Yeah, I've heard great things about The Wild Robot too. I absolutely want to watch it, and I'm so glad that people turned back around to being positive, because I remember when the second trailer dropped revealing that it wasn't going to be completely silent, people were saying, oh, come on, I liked it better when they didn't talk. Why can't we have more movies like this instead of just another generic talky movie or whatever? So did I get rid of the... Okay, no, I did not. Select the inverse. And then that should be the nail. Okay, yeah. Now I'm gonna... No, that's not what I wanted. T. No, my. Distort. And then make it longer, like out to here. Yeah, that's the original point. And then, ooh, yeah, that looks really good. Claws out, ready to cause mayhem. Now I have to get her fangs in. I think this is probably the best one that I can use for copying fangs directly. I'm gonna rasterize the layer. And then I'm gonna there we go. Doing it pixel by pixel is usually easier to get rid of the red marks. But then, sometimes having the red outline around the teeth is still a good thing, because it gives off the illusion that they're a bit bloody. And then, now I'm gonna surround this one. No, I did not want the feather. I wanted to select the inverse. Like Big Bang Theory more if Sheldon didn't feel like a caricature. Yeah, I agree. Because, like, I think they were almost on the right track with Sheldon. I could relate to him because I saw a lot of my tendencies within him, but they also went about it in a way where he was the punchline, the butt of the joke. And that, he deserves every bad thing coming to him because, he's not socially normal. I also didn't quite like the fact that he was also asexual, I guess. But Amy would constantly pressure him, being like, but Sheldon, I'm your girlfriend. One of these days we're gonna have to get in bed together. And by that point, they probably should have just broken up for good because she has her needs and he has his needs. They're not compatible. Yeah, Jax really is blue if he went to the dark side. I love that Jax has, like, no redeeming qualities so far. He is the funniest character. Okay, I have no idea why the border is so big. You know what? No, I'm gonna do both of them separately. Gonna move it around this way. No, that's too tilted. This is better. And I gotta darken it too, to match the other teeth. I think I might just remove this one and then copy paste this one. Wait, that's her nail. This is the tooth, okay. Gonna copy this one. Flip horizontal. And then I'm gonna move it like this a little bit to get the angle better. How to make any show better? Insert the Warner trio into it and let them go crazy. Yeah, everything's better with the Warners. I think I have to move this one closer to here. That's almost good. I just have to turn it like that a little more. Yeah. That's what we want. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, actually, one down. There we go. I gotta find her layer again. There we go. Because I need to, like, get her lipstick back to where it's supposed to be. I think I forgot to deselect it during the... during the desaturation. Also, Kenley, that's not what I said. I said that I didn't like how Sheldon was disrespected for being Ace, and that they basically saw it as something that they needed to fix him. That's something that happens with Ace people a lot. My race in real life is Argentinian American. Well, I mean, I consider the American part because I was born in the US. So I'm not sure if that exactly counts, but that's what I feel. Lennon! It's been a while. What's up? Yeah, I am a proud Latina. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this is better. Like, adding the saturation, making it closer to deep red-ish, like this. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And what should I do next? Yeah, I should do the eyes next. The snake is always the hardest part, because I need them to cover all of her curls, and like I said, I add a lot of snakes into her hair. So, let's see, let's take this. Now, I have another reference picture of her where she's in a similar pose, but it's her behind the stairs ready to pounce on Drac again. Unbeknownst to him. And in that pose, I always think of like Mr. Burns or Randall from Recess. It's so funny. Okay, so I think that's most of her eye, basically. That's not black or red tinted. Let's see, I gotta go back here a little bit. No, too much saturation is not good. So I can lighten the eyes a little bit just to make sure what it actually looks like. Okay, looks like it's stuck in the blue, so that means it's time for plan B. I've got to paint over it. I'll copy this one so I can put it back later, but I need the most vibrant of red. Gotta paint over it, like this. Oh yeah, Taimi, you are Hispanic. Nice. Okay, now that looks a bit messy, so I'm not going to paint on this layer. I'm going to do it on this one, and then I'll edit it from there. Just to make sure the balance is correct. It's this one I need again. Yeah. So I can fill in that at the bottom, and then a little rim. There we go. Now, worst comes to worst, I can just turn it down to make it a little less intense, like this. So it's still red, but it's not eye-popping to match with the atmosphere. So I have no idea what happened to my colors, but that's fine. At least I can put this back. I think I'm gonna go back here and put that there too. Like that. There we go. So that way I can have it ready for when I do another Johnny edit, because we've still got time. I gotta hop off at 4, so that could give us time for probably one more edit, considering the snakes, like I said, take time. I'm gonna take a break before I do the snakes so that way I can catch up with all your comments. Zubul should have had her own episode instead of sharing it with Kinger. That is true. Maybe she will get her own episode later with, Pomni being the one to help her out properly, since Kane is not well equipped for that. Oh, bye, channel change. Haitian Bahamian American. Interesting combo. Oh, you're an Oswald fan? Name every episode. Maybe not in order, but I can try. Just as a fun, uh, a fun challenge. Roller skating, I guess you never know, chasing the ice cream truck, the camping trip, a sticky situation, Tutti Frutti Pie, the double date, goodbye best friend. Okay, what else was there? Odd one out. Yeah, that's the other one. Oh, hey, GP Mar. Then Sammy Starfish Live, of course, was also one of the good ones. Well, one of the awesome ones, like one of my favorites. Because all of them are good. Well, the Naughty Cat, not so much. That one was okay. I didn't really vibe with that one. And the sleepover was also kind of heavy handed in how Oswald was handling the situation. But it was one of the earliest episodes, so it wasn't that bad. Especially since it was paired up with Big Banana. Big Banana was really good. Yeah, sorry, Alberto. We're talking about the octopus, not the lucky rabbit. You know, it's funny because I feel like back in the day, Oswald, like when you heard that name, the first thing that would come to mind is the octopus. But then when the lucky rabbit came back into circulation, well, how the turntables. Ooh, 111, that's good. Yeah, that's it. I love it. Now, the good part about this snake thing, for those who are unfamiliar, is that unlike Slime Johnny, where I usually go to other pictures of him to take splotches and put them back in his hair in whatever order or how many of them I want, and of course sometimes looking at it for reference of the spots around his body, with Erica, I don't have to do any of that. I have saved in my pictures to edit the snakes that I like to use for her hair the most. I think it's usually this one I don't use that often unless she's more relaxed. But this one and this one I always use for when her hair is down, and then this one and this one I'm going to use a few times for this as well to show that they're slowly peeking out. Just not all of them at once. Not like the this one too. Not like the one where she's being lifted by Drac, or like the one where she's approaching him. And this is a little bit more like it because you've got her snakes in her hair, but you've also got the other snakes behind her that are starting to come out as she gets more mischievous. Like I said, it's not as abundant as this one. So, let's see. I'm gonna make sure they're on the highest layer. That way they're not blocked by anything. Do this one first. Because I've got to get rid of the white background, which can be hard if it's a white-on-white object, but at least the shadow around the snake helps. Wait, is this some pro-blue propaganda channel? Perhaps. That's for me to know, and you to find out. Do I like MLP? Yeah, I do like My Little Pony. I grew up with Generation 3, and then I watched Friendship is Magic up to early season 5. Did not like the way they were treating Discord. Thomas and Friends, yeah, I grew up watching that one too. Pretty good show. Kind of proof that, like, British shows are really chaotic. And hold on, I'll be right back. I need to go get my charger. I think my iPad's about to die. There we go. Alright. Backyardigans, yes, I also grew up with that one. I loved every single Nick Jr. show that was on. I think it was the only network where I actually did... Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. It was the only preschool channel where I can confirm that I watched every show that was on there. For the Noggin branch, though, I can't really say for sure, but I also did watch a lot of Noggin, and I always appreciated how it was like a DLC version. And then PBS Kids Sprout did the same, they used the same tactic with it being a DLC version of PBS Kids, except I feel like while I prefer Noggin, I find Sprout to be way more interesting because of how many obscure shows they had. Like, I'm in the Athena P server, and it is really easy for me to come up with weird shows that I remember but nobody does, because a lot of my examples come from Sprout, Discovery Kids, and Cubo. And Discovery Kids Latino America. I should probably specify that as well. I think Brian Hull did a great job of voicing Dracula in the fourth movie. It sucks that he didn't have any better material to work with, though, because, as I've said before, I am not a fan of how the story went at all. Okay, so I see what I have to do here. I have to darken the snake, so that way it fits with the mood, but I think this is a good size for it. I'm gonna get rid of this border down here. Let's see, is there anything left over? No. And then yeah. It's a shame that Wubsy ended because Starz Media's contract with Nick Jr. expired. Although it's weird, I never actually watched the second season. I outgrew Nick Jr. before Daisy was introduced to the lineup. I don't remember if I already said this in my Flash video, but I remember being introduced to Daisy when I went to a Chuck E. Cheese in like the I want to say early 2010s. And at Chuck E. Cheese, even though they usually have like shorts on the TV that have to do with the mascots, sometimes they'll have actual shows playing on their TVs like VeggieTales, and Wow Wow Wubsy happened to be one of them. So I looked up at the screen seeing Wubsy, and he was playing with some girl I didn't recognize, and I'm all like, who is she? Who's that? And then I found out years later that it was Daisy. Yeah, I feel bad for Bob Boyle. Zooble and Gangle would have an interesting dynamic, that's for sure. Yeah, you make a good point with the changelings. Like, it was good that for a show about redemption and friendship, they still had nuance. And you know, it does make sense what they did with the changelings, considering they also butchered Discord. But it was in like the opposite way, because while I've heard that the changelings eventually turned good, with Discord, he was one of the few villains where after they brought him to the good side, they weren't actually treating him like friends usually do. They went so much harder on him compared to Princess Luna, Trixie, even Sunset Shimmer to some extent. And yet, it took Discord 2 seasons to actually be accepted by Ponyville. No wonder he turned evil again with Tyrek. I wish that they actually could have properly acknowledged that the only reason Discord turned back to the dark side was because, after turning good, Fluttershy was the only person in his corner, and nobody else was practicing what they preached. Oh, Kenley, I see you're of the Sprout generation. Let's go! You know, I've made an interesting observation lately with the way that the channel looked back when it first started, with like that paper look and the bumpers before the Goodnight Show would start. It kind of looks like Flipside from Super Paper Mario. Like, if you showed me those images back to back and told me that they existed in the same universe or that they were the same location, I would not have questioned it at all. And here's a counterpoint for you, Kenley. Princess Luna tried to steal the sun, basically, and kill everybody. Trixie enslaved an entire town. You can't really say that the ponies have good reason to not be friends with Discord after he redeems, when all of the other villains were exactly as bad as Discord, if not worse. So when you're holding them up to different standards, it seems that, like, I don't know, it's also kind of scummy that Discord was the only guy of the redeemed villains at the time. So, it's like saying that if you're a girl, you're more deserving of redemption, even though you've done just as bad as the one guy that nobody likes. No, I mean Trixie. Trixie got corrupted by the necklace, and in her second appearance, she enslaved Ponyville, and Fluttershy had to sneak out in order to find Twilight to get her to help, because she kicked her out of Ponyville, remember? And yes, Starlight did do her own Coraline kind of thing with that other town where she was taking everybody's cutie marks, but that was after Discord, so that doesn't really count in my opinion for now. Especially since her redemption came after Discord was treated like a proper friend by everybody. Yes, thank you, Timey. Thank you for backing me up. And yeah, you're right about Discovery Kids Latino America, Kenley. Yeah, it was a combination of all of the US shows basically, but under one umbrella because international rights are hilarious. So basically, they had a bunch of Nick Jr. shows, they had a bunch of PBS Kids, they had a little bit of Playhouse Disney, and they had their own unique content that didn't really make it to the US yet. I don't remember when Fifi and the Flower Tots got here, but I do remember Pocoyo was on there before the US, and there were some shows I don't think even made it to the US, like Lunar Jim and that one about the kid who got superpowers by eating carrots. Sometimes talking about these shows is hard because I remember mainly their Spanish names. It took me the longest time to find Lunar Jim because I'm so used to it being called Jim de la Luna. So the fact that it doesn't directly translate to Jim of the Moon took me a while to find. And you can't really say that the Alicorn amulet brainwashed her because she fully went in intending to kick out Swilight and take over Ponyville. You know, that's actually a big trait that I hate when most people or like most characters try to excuse a villain's actions because they were using an amulet that corrupted them. Like, no. When Cassandra was being corrupted by the Moonstone, she wasn't being corrupted necessarily. She was just enabled by the Moonstone in order to get her petty revenge. And that same argument that people make about King Magnifico from Wish. Like, don't get me wrong, I hate Wish just as much as the next guy, but he was not a saint. Yeah, don't worry, GP Mar, I do know about the whole Discord Grogar thing. I'm very disappointed that they massacred my boy like that. Like, it's one thing to massacre my boy, but it's another thing to disappoint an entire fandom like that. Like, wow. I can't believe they did that. I learned a lot about post-season 5 MLP from other people, so that's why I'm more knowledgeable despite never watching it myself that far. I also think it's funny that Pinkie Pie and Cheese Sandwich were confirmed to be married. Yet, with Fluttershy and Discord, they left that up to interpretation. Yeah, I think your dislike to the changelings makes sense. Like, they didn't have to change their entire colors to prove that they were redeemed. I think this is part of the snake, so I'm just gonna keep it on, probably. Did I miss a spot? No, that's part of the... Okay. To be fair, Trixie didn't really get any suspicion from Twilight until later on when she was with, when she met Starlight. So, she got it off the hook considerably easier than Discord. Yeah, Discovery Kids in the USA was really good. I thought it was so cool that their mascot also had his own show, Paz. Well, technically he had two. Ready, Set, Learn first, which was, I think, more of an interstitial, and then the Paz show, which was full-on shows. And they even still had that one in Discovery Kids Latino America, even though it wasn't, even though they had a different mascot entirely, Doki. Which I think is weird that they had Doki, yet they didn't make a show of him until 2013. Why did it take them so long? Yeah, that is true. They cared about him because of the mythology gag. And even then they couldn't do that. No, that's not what I wanted. Down here. Okay, I'm gonna flip horizontal so its little head can peek out. That's better. Yeah, usually... Actually, no, why did I do that? I gotta change the brightness before I keep doing it, so... it doesn't look so good. I gotta change the contrast a little bit. Actually, no. I can do it in hue saturation, I think. Because the lightness changes for all of it. So, okay, negative 27. Negative 27 is the key. Because that's what I did with the Dungeon Erica stuff. Okay. Boop. There we go. Yeah. Doki was a really cute little mascot, though. Although, is it just me, or did the visuals for the Doki show actually kind of be a downgrade? Maybe the rendering just wasn't right on the one that I saw, but it looked a little bit less smooth, and the colors were a bit desaturated. But I'm sure the show was still good. Yeah, I think you do make a good point, Hunter. Which one do I want to move to the bottom? I think it should be this one. Yeah. Flip horizontal. Okay, that's better. Yeah. I like that. Now I'm gonna see... Looking back on my edits, because with the way that I've handled Jurica... Oh yeah, I forgot to add her fangs on this one. I think I did post edit later, but yeah, like looking at her snakes, whenever she's like fully calm or whatever, like they're all just surrounding her hair like that. And then when they're opening up, like, okay, maybe not this one, but absolutely like this one, they all take on the shape of her curls. And then you got stuff like this, where I did a mix of them, where they sometimes blend in with their curls, sometimes not. So this is the big question that I have to solve before I keep going. Like, do I want to keep doing that with her? I think it would look good if I kept doing that. And it's easy, I can just... Well, first I gotta make this smaller. Like that. Rotate it. And then, okay, it looks like I... There we go. Yeah, that's better for the shape. And then the rest of them are gonna do the curls. Kenny the Shark. I don't think I actually watched that one, but I have seen commercials for it during Discovery Kids' airings of the Magic School Bus. Stanley and JoJo Circus! Yes! I still have my JoJo Circus figurines sitting around in my open space somewhere. That, my Roly Polioli figurines, I think, too, and Blue's Clues. And then Stanley was a pretty good one, too. Stanley and JoJo were the only Playhouse Disney characters that I got autographs from in Disneyland. And I think for Halloween once I even dressed up as JoJo. It's so weird to think about considering I feel like she was nowhere near as popular as Blue's Clues, Dora, Bear in the Big Blue House, yet she still got her licensed costuming. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, wait, no, that's too small. I'll take a bigger chunk of the snake. And then I'll start applying that to her curls. Yeah, to think that in Latino America you could get Twilight vs. T-Rex and Peppa Pig back to back. Yeah, Teletubbies I also liked a lot. Like, I know that it's technically brainless brain rot, but at the same time, I feel like there's some entertainment value to be found from it, considering it's basically like taking drugs without actually taking drugs, you know? Okay. I think that should do it for this one. So now I just gotta select again. A deranged version of Fetch. Yeah, that makes sense. That's another show that I never actually watched because I think they aired it during what I like to call the wrong time slots. So, like, by the time I was already in school, which means I never got a chance to watch it proper. But I have vivid memories of when they aired commercials for that one special where he gets fired and he basically has to save his job so he can be the host again. Jetix on Toon Disney. I remember watching Puka on there a couple times. Wait, no, that's not what I want. It's this. Move these out of the way. And you know what? I'm gonna edit that later with her with this part of her snake being underneath the others. But for now it's easier to look at it like this. No, that's not what I want. Yeah, because here I can get that shape. Maybe? Or no, I don't have to do that. I can flip this one to get the shape. Grunkle Stan won the Funkle Bunkle. What the heck does that even mean? Like, I know it's Gravity Falls. I loved Gravity Falls when it was airing. I still do. But I feel like it's also got the Avatar effect of people saying, no cartoon will ever be as good as this, when, yeah, no, it still has its flaws. Aw, yeah, I know the feeling. I don't remember a lot of the back to back programming, but I do remember near the end of my watches on Playhouse Disney and PBS Kids. For Playhouse Disney, one of those shows was definitely Imagination Movers. And then for PBS Kids, one of them was Dinosaur Train, and another back to back that I watched a lot was Maya and Miguel to Arthur. Mitch, you're back! Good to see you back, babe. Okay, I think I should just put that on a lower layer. Yeah. It's this one on the top. I gotta merge these two. Yeah, making the miniature curls is always the biggest pain. I'm starting to think that I probably won't be finished until the end of the stream. The Spanish dub of the Kirby anime. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. You know, it's no surprise that it aired on Toon Disney because I feel like Disney is to animate. Nintendo is to gaming what Disney is to animation, you know? They just kind of go hand in hand. Now I gotta move this one all the way to the bottom. There we go. So I gotta move this one under layer 2. Huh. Maybe someday they'll be released. I'm surprised they didn't finish the entire storyboard because you can tell the abrupt cut happened with when he punched DW. Okay, wait, I think I went too far. Yeah. Layer 0 copy. There we go. I'm not sure. And you know, it's not just them, because 2009 really was the end of an era. Noggin became Nick Jr., Toon Disney and Jetix turned into Disney XD. Limited 2 turned into Justice. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends ended, and I think that was when CN Real was starting to pick up too. And then Playhouse Disney being rebranded to Disney Junior didn't even happen until a couple years later, so at least Playhouse Disney stuck around a little bit longer. I miss the aesthetic of Playhouse Disney though. And I also think it was kind of lazy for them to rename it to Disney Junior to compete with Nick Jr. because Playhouse in the title was what made it stand out. You had, of the big three, the Junior, the Kids, and the Playhouse. Why would you want to disturb such a beautiful balance? Yeah, it would have been weird to see Disney make the Mario movie. They probably would have added more depth to the story compared to Illumination, which is not a knock on the movie that we got. In fact, I actually like the simplicity that they went for. We don't really get a lot of that anymore. Canal Sur 2. I can't say that I remember a lot of the channels for everything else in Latino America, but at least I know the anime channel there. Happy Monster Band! Yes, I love that one. My favorites when I was little were Get Up and Go 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 and I'm the Best at Being Me. I'm someone no one else can be. I'm the best at being me. That was a good one. SoapNet? What's that? I've been to Argentina many times. A lot of my mom's family lives there, and all of my dad's family lives there, so when I was little, we would go every year, every other year-ish around that time frame. We stopped going as often in 2017 because I think we were planning to go back in 2020, but that was when COVID hit, and then I finally went back for the first time in a long time in March because my dad wanted to celebrate his birthday with his side of the family. So we decided it was going to be his official birthday gift. Yeah, I didn't know Disney had a soap opera channel. That's pretty cool. Peluchin Entertainment. Never heard of them. Aww, take care of baby. I remember maining Dora of the babies that I'd take care of, but I still remembered Oswald's crying very clearly before I even refreshed my memory. I think his crying kind of scared me back in the day. Like, it sounded a little bit creepy or like unnatural, but it wasn't as creepy as how weird Little Bill's sprite moved. He kind of looked like a robot, or like if you guys ever done stuff on Adobe Animate, sometimes when people use the bone tool to rig characters, there's like a sense of unnatural movement to them. Like that's what I felt coming from Little Bill. Okay, I can understand fully why you'd hate Peluche Entertainment. That is vile. Oh, your grandma used to watch it. Cool. Okay. I think I've figured out the strat. Only 3 more curls to go, and then I can fill up all the other snakes. You know, I think maybe after this edit, I'm not gonna end the stream. Like, I'm still staying until 4, but I might take things in a more chill direction and, you know, just dedicate it more to talking to you guys instead of getting distracted by my edits and then seeing like 10 comments have passed by. Yeah, the future is looking bright for my channel. I've got so many scripts, most of them finished. Some of them I haven't finished yet because I'm in the process of finishing the shows. Some of them is because I haven't finished my binge. Some of them is because they're lost media and haven't been fully put out there yet, so there's only as much as I can write while I'm waiting for when they release, because, well, I know that they're going to be released. I talked with the creator about that. But that's a story for another day. 5:51 for you, it's 2:51 for me. Never let anybody tell you you're too old for cartoons, Hunter. Cartoons have been my special interest since before I knew what a special interest was. Is it any wonder why I want to go into animation? Okay. Skip curl. A utopia where Wubsy did a crossover with Oswald. You know, I did kind of imagine that too, but it's not just Oswald and Wubsy. It's like. No, that's not what I wanted. There we go. It's the entire. Not the entirety, but like 10 Nick Jr. shows. That's one thing I want to make a reality if I ever can. Like a fan made game where it's a big crossover between 10 Nick Jr. shows. Without giving too much away, I like to call it Baby's First RPG. And I've actually drawn some concept art for it. I'm halfway done drawing the concept art of like the fighting poses for all the fighters. Cause I think I had 2 representatives from 7 of the shows, and then 2 secret ones for like the final boss. So maybe at some point after Halloween ends, because I'm fully invested in my Monstober activities, but maybe I'll get back around to that. Either that or my current hyperfixation will destroy me. Wait, why did it do that? There we go. No, that's actually I'm gonna go back to this one to get a more accurate curl. Yeah, there we go. So kind of like Nicktoons Unite. Yeah, in a way. Where it's like less platforming and more like a turn-based RPG. Kind of like what the South Park games did. Oh, that's also a good name for him. Yeah. I remember I remember some of the other characters from Wiggles aside from the main four: Dorothy, Henry, Captain Feathersword, and I think it was Wags the dog. You know, funny story about the Wiggles. Oh, Mega Music Fest. I did hear about that. But they didn't include most of the shows that I would have, because by then, a lot of the classics that I liked, like Oswald, Wubsy, or whatever, I think they were all already over. So we only got like a small handful of ones I could recognize from my own childhood, while the rest were like new age stuff like Fresh Beat Band. Anyways, funny story about the Wiggles. I had the movie on VHS, and it was the first time I had ever heard ever watched the 20th Century Fox logo. So to this day, whenever I watch or hear it, all I can think of is the Wiggles version where that little dramatic dun 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 at the end that's like a little bit slowed down nowadays. It was a little bit faster because it was an old logo. And literally right after it goes to like darkness, you can hear like that machinery that picks up in the Wiggles movie, where it's like like a train. I associate that with the 20th Century Fox logo every time, or whatever. 20th Century Theater, or whatever it is called. It's crazy to think how we went from the South Park 64 games to the games fully managed. Yeah! Like, I love what they did for the duology. Like, I'm not counting Snow Day because that one's more mixed. And it's also, like, yeah, mixed in style, and I don't know what they're going for the story, but the fact that they were able to make it look exactly like the show for both Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole made the game so much more immersive. I am impressed. Like, really. I love it. What if Wubsy was owned by Showtime? Uh, remind me, what is Showtime again? Oh yes, Tasty Time with Ziff Frank and Choo Choo Soul. All aboard the choo choo train, all aboard the choo choo train. I think my favorite song from that one was the counting one, the 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 waka poo poo waka waka poo. Oh yeah, that was a good one. I remember when I don't remember if it was Disney Channel specifically, but it was like, tell me you were on a children's show without telling me you were on a children's show. And it was Genevieve and the guy who played Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody that got me hyped the most. Like, Genevieve even put her costume back on as she, like, briefly popped in on her phone. Oh, it's like HBO, but owned by Paramount. I see. If it was owned by Showtime, then maybe it would have been easier to get it on Paramount Plus. Like, I can absolutely see that happening instead. I did it again. I always press backspace on the original layer. At least I know what I'm doing wrong. And I can quickly correct it. So yeah, all of the tips have been color corrected. So I think now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to move some of the duplicated snakes to lower parts of her hair. I'll fill in the rest with this thing over here. And then okay. Tiny Toons University. I've never watched it. I still need to watch the original Tiny Toons, but it's hard for me to do that because the color palette on all the characters, it doesn't sit right with my eyes. And I also really think that turning Buster and Babs into siblings was a terrible idea. Like, that's just asking for fandom controversy over nothing. Because some people can't handle when you're talking about different versions of characters and they'll always be insistent, like, no, they are this. Like, it's bad to ship them because they're brother and sister, even though in the original show they weren't. They were a full on couple. And the worst part is that I feel like they could have had their cake and eaten it too. They could have just kept Buster and Babs as a couple and as Bugs' students. Then they could have introduced another set of rabbits that could be siblings and the students of Lola Bunny. Like, why didn't they do that? It's so easy. I do like how they seem to give more characters personality and time to shine. Like, when I was doing research for the show, I did see that there was like a character for Marvin to have a apprentice. I think her name was Marsha. And I was so sad to learn that she was in only one episode, especially since she and Plucky got along. So she seems to be getting more focus, just like Sweetie did, with, more personality. And I can appreciate that at the very least. Like, just because I don't like one thing about a show doesn't mean that I can't appreciate something else about it, you know? Oh, I remember Blam. Yeah, it was hilarious in a campy way, especially since, like, I think most of the ones that they used were Goofy and Donald, so they were literally perfect for it. Now I've got a counter question for you, Hunter. Do you remember the remix? Ooh, a happy ending for Plucky. Nice. Okay. Where's that snake? No. Okay, actually, no, maybe I'll do this one instead, yeah. I'm gonna... Yeah, this is better for, like, this part of her hair. Maybe I can tilt it a little bit like this, so it can cover that other patch of hair on her ear. Yeah, this is better. And then I'll make another copy to go under that snake. Once I can find it. There it is. One up here, and then I'll make another on the other side. I'm thinking of having just a couple of snakes peek out, like, actually maybe three. One on the left, one in the center, and one on the right. I always like it when they give jerk characters a chance at redemption. Yeah. I like that too when it's handled pretty well. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can move this fellow over here. Yeah. I'm gonna... Actually, no, I'm gonna make it smaller. Almost got it. I think I need to move it below... which snake? That one, snake one. You know what? Let's just cover up that, let's cover up that curl too. Might as well. Why not? Oh, okay. Oh, bye, Hank. Oh, you remember Remix. That's awesome. Yeah, I got a feeling was definitely one of my favorites. I think the one I liked the most was when they did He Could Be the One from Hannah Montana, Play My Music from uh, Camp Rock, and that one they did of We Got the Beat by the Go Go's. That was my introduction to that song. And that was before Debbie Ryan covered it. Yeah, at this point, I'm just gonna cover up her curls. At least this one. Maybe I'll cover this one too. Yeah, the shape fits. I'm gonna move it one floor. There we go. Make it look a little less, and then this one. You know what? I'm not gonna make it a snake. I'm gonna. That's where our surprise tool that'll help us later being now, comes in. This thing. Wait, that's not what I wanted. This. Okay, let me catch up with some other. Yeah, even though it's not as good as the original, it's a good reboot as long as you're not expecting the original. Yeah, that's valid. Good night, Alberto. It was nice for you to stop by again. Yeah. This is coming together really well. Of course, at the end of the stream, I will be posting both of my edits. Well, unless I do a third one before 4, but I don't know. Feeling a bit tired. So I'm gonna just dedicate the rest of the stream more to just talking to you guys if that's okay with you. So let's see. I think I'm just gonna stick with this one because she's being more subtle. So it fits with the mischievous nature. And look, you've got a little tongue. Isn't that cute? Oh, no. There we go. So yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10. That's a good score. I think, yeah, this should be good. I can start picking up a lot better the, Okay. I'll have to redo the tongue, but that's fine. It's just a small portion. No, wrong lasso. Yeah, of course. Like, I'm glad you're able to like Animaniacs 2020 while I can't. You know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. No, wrong one. There we go. Get your eye out of here. And I may have to refine the black a little bit better. Okay, my favorite Schoolhouse Rock song is The Multiplication by Fives. Although honorable mentions would go to, of course, Conjunction Junction, uh, the Noun Song, and I'm Just a Bill. Oh, right, I have to rasterize this first. Now I just gotta get rid of some of that black on the side. Favorite Backyardigans song? Oh, that is a hard one. Oh, International Super Spy goes really hard. I like that one. And I also like, in general, the soundtrack from the Mars episode, where I think Alicia Keys was the Martian mom, and they were singing about Boinga. Oh, and the surf song, like the surf's up, ho daddy. That's a good one. I love that one. Oh yeah, Lady in Pink. Honestly, the Backyardigans may have one of the best soundtracks in cartoon history. Like Backyardigans, Phineas and Ferb, Steven Universe. Let's see, what other examples can I think of? Like especially whatever. Oh. Can we all agree that the scene where Runt rages over the vending machine? Oh, is that when they're trying to get the soda for Chicken Little to jetpack himself onto the bell? Toonie! Hi. So let's move the snake here and make it a little bigger. Gotta get rid of this. Oh, Tales of the Mighty Knights. You know, I think I forgot how good that episode's soundtrack was before I played the game on the Nick Jr. website. Because I remember that they used the not the backing tracks, the instrumental tracks for the songs from that special for the levels. And when I was playing that first one, I felt so energized by that rock inspired soundtrack. Like, to be fair, I did end up being a huge rock girly now, so I guess you could say the Backyardigans and Fly on the Wall by Miley Cyrus, uh, Tell Me Something I Don't Know by Selena Gomez, and what was that other song? Potential Breakup Song by Ali and AJ shaped my taste. Yeah, it is sad that they're doing what they did to the Backyardigans and making it look uglier, but at least it seems to be just music video remakes instead of, an entire show. So, I guess it could be worse, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they started working on them after Janice died. Around here, number 20. Yeah. And that, I'll try to get rid of that black area a little bit better. And yeah, Toonie, you're a few hours late, but hey, I'm glad that you made it. You're in the final stretch. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Turn you up here. And then this one is going to go to the other side, because... Oh yeah, I am really liking this energy here. We've still got some of the red left over despite the desaturated skin. We've got the darkened teeth a little bit to, hold on, I have to see if I can find that again. So I can properly darken them. So yeah, this one and this one. So I think it's hue saturation that will darken it entirely. Yeah, that's true. But it's very hard to darken it because of the outlines, I guess. And it's changing the hue, as you can see. Maybe if I try the brightness contrast version. Okay, no, that's even worse. So this is the best I can work with. Well, enjoy your VC. Yeah, Tyrone worked for the evil lady in pink, not Pablo. I think it was Austin and Tasha who worked for Pablo, while Tyrone was for Uniqua. Yeah, that is true. They did kick Tasha and Austin out. This snake here looks a bit out of place. Maybe if I duplicate it and move it closer to the bottom down here, that'll fix it a little bit. Like that. And then I'm gonna remove the rest of the snake. Like that. And then get a little bit of this out of the way. Get this little piece. Yeah, that looks a little more natural. And then, let's see. Gotta clear up some of the black again. Even with the classics, they're being cheap. Isn't that a tragedy? No, that's the wrong layer. There we go. I feel like today when it came to editing Erica's snakes, it felt a lot easier than it usually did. Probably because I didn't have to do that much aside from covering her head with the closed up or curled up snakes. And I finally found like a foolproof strategy to get those curls in, which some of them I can match, some of them I'm okay not matching, you know? Yeah, exactly. It's like when people were saying, why why revive Animaniacs if you're just going to have the Warners and Pinky and the Brain? Like it would have been one thing if they made a bunch of new skits to compensate for the ones that they couldn't bring back, but no, they didn't. Sure, they had Starbucks and Cindy and the Incredible Gnome, but they barely count since they were only a one per season kind of appearance. Yeah. I am really happy with this final look for this Erica. I think that same friend that I talked about earlier who had that Hotel Transylvania hyperfixation and I interacted with her as the Warners for like meme purposes and stuff and reactions. I think part of her design for her take on Gorgon Erica was that she enlarged her nails to make her look more monstrous. Whereas for my idea, I did kind of take inspiration from her for it, but I did think that with Erica, with Erica changing, she's got like her fangs already. And oh, I didn't notice. This one doesn't, this one's overlapping on the mouth. Let me fix that real quick. Think. This. Yeah, there we go. So I decided to keep her nails the same since I had already done it, and it's easier to just add fangs than go back and elongate the nails. But then I spun it into, well, what if her nails become like Wolverine nails whenever she's being mischievous or, attacking and stuff? So that's why I made them a little bit longer here. I might make them even longer. Uh, to exaggerate it. So let's see how far I can go without making it look weird. Like this is like the perfect length, but I gotta turn it a little bit. Yeah, this is better. Okay, that's not what I wanted. I gotta go back to distort again. And then this time I can say that it's been completed. Yeah, this is even better. I like that. Woo! Okay, let me go back to see what you guys have been saying. I remakes, blah blah blah, just wasting. Yeah, Paramount Plus doesn't even have most of it. Oh, that's weird. Because Noggin no longer exists, and why do they have copyright issues with Nelvana? Like, I thought that it was an in-house creation, not from the Canadian one. Oh, that's a cool OC idea, Hunter. I like it. I never knew. Interesting. Speaking of, that's one thing that I've never been able to work out fully with OBS. I notice on my stream that my screen looks cropped, where like you can't really see the entire window. And I don't know how to fix it because I thought that I had full screen enabled, but oh well, I'll probably figure that out later. And if I don't, then no harm in it. You guys can still see what I'm doing. Let's see. I'm gonna look through my pictures, see if there's any quickies that I can do. Let's see, I already finished this one, so I'll throw it away. We haven't done these yet, I think. I've done this one already. I did this one. Okay, so these ones with Johnny being revealed as a human, I'm really excited to do these with the Johnny Slime skin because it would perfectly represent that one scene in my Hotel Transylvania 4 rewrite. Because I don't remember how much I shared with you about how far I would go with it, but I always thought that with Johnny choosing to be a human and Mavis being all like, well, I understand now that it's your choice, and whatever you do, I support it. So Johnny, who's still a dragon at this point, gets his hands on the ray, and as he changes, we see his shadow, and it looks like he's being turned back into a human, only to cut to who he actually is, or like, only cut to back, only to cut back to him, and we find out that he decided to become a slime person instead. So this one with the Johnny look, it would be Mavis being asking, so this is the body you want? And he's all like, yeah, I think it's really me. And then this next one where and he's like, what do you think? And then this next one where she's hugging him, it's her basically saying, it's you, showing her full support for Johnny. So I'm probably going to do those next week. And then I may have time for another Drerica edit. Because I don't know, as much as I've been able to get used to editing Erica, putting all those snakes on her kind of drains me in a way. I can't explain it. Oh, hugs and stitches. I like the depressed teen angle of your OC, because I know that most of the teen imaginary friends turn out to be extremosaurs, except for Red, who was made by Terrence, of course. And that would be a really good angle for uh that would be a really good angle for exploring the teen side of imaginary friends. I also like that with him being a less strict Harriman, like he upholds the rules as much as he can, but he also is fine getting like going on adventures and potentially, getting some development. That was one of my biggest issues with Harriman looking back. Like his lack of hinted slash subtle development compared to the other main characters really ruined his character. Because he was arguably the one who needed to grow and change the most, and we never really got to see that until Destination Imagination. And the few times they tried to do it, he either just went back to the way he was before, or he became even worse than he was before. Ooh, Little Einsteins! I grew up watching that one too. I remember back in the days before Little Einsteins was a thing, that same company made Baby Einsteins. I love the design of their hand puppets. They are so cute. Like, especially Bard the Dragon. And then with Little Einsteins themselves, I liked how they were a really good introduction to classical music for little kids, too. I think I had talking plushes of June and Annie from the Disney store years ago, but then they lost their battery and then I decided to donate them. SML, I'm assuming, is Super Mario Logan? No, never been a big fan. Actually, while we're still here, I'm gonna do a Slime Genavis edit. This one is going to be extra easy. Oh, how the mighty fall. This is going to be really easy to do because I don't have any teeth or eyes to be avoidant of. Aw, that's adorable! And since we're talking about giraffes, was it a Toys R Us giraffe? Hmm. I mean, if he was monetizing off of the Nintendo plushes, then that makes sense. Otherwise, if it was just a fan thing, then I think it was way too far. Okay, so that's green, so I gotta go further this way for that orangish. Turn up the saturation. I like that. Maybe turn it down a little bit. Yeah, that's better. And then on top of the layer, I use the gradient. Like that. Well, let's see how it looks first, because, like, trying to make it a little bit lower. Like that, uh-huh. That's way better. That's what I've been waiting for. Mm-hmm. That's good. Now I have to get his hand again. And his little splotches. Copying this one. Let's do the splotches first. So I'm going to move you over here so it's easier to do side by side. Yeah. Okay, it wasn't Toys R Us, but aw. His name is Baby. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah. I've never heard of the noose situation, but that unfortunately sounds accurate. Actually, no, I've already used that one. I'm going to use this one instead. like this one spot in his hair. It's really easy to, like, get that wad of gum kind of feeling from it. And then back to here. I think that's the right hand. Okay, that's his left. This is his right hand. So I'm gonna do this one instead, probably. Well, I'll need to put him back there. Alright, there we go. Yeah, this dude. There we go. Yeah. You know, it's funny how between Erica and Johnny, not much has changed from their designs, like from their monster designs since the first time I did them. But with Johnny, he's the one who changed the least. The only thing that I added afterwards were the splotches in his hair. And then with Erica, I think the main thing I changed was that I added her overbite too. Oh yeah, I even made her I made her gray skin even darker, I think. But then in that first image, it makes sense why it's more palish because she has a spotlight down on her. I've already shared that one, so I'm not gonna edit the fangs back in since it's a good beta, I guess. Just like this one doesn't have any splotches. But still, you can just pretend the fangs are there. Okay. No, that's not the right one. This is what I need. No, almost there. I get this piece out to kind of like round it out. No, that's fine. That's too big. I'm gonna make it smaller. Yeah, that's the angle I'm going for. A little smaller. Turn it a little more. And then round out the... There we go. Ah, Alistair in 2D. Those are good voice claims. My favorite MLP characters have always been Fluttershy and Discord. I also ship them. I think they're adorable. I might make this one a little bit thicker, actually. Yeah, 53. That's a good look. I don't understand why my brush is so small. Let's make it a little bigger. Oh, I want it to be hard, though, I think. Yeah. Actually, no. Maybe that's why I made it so small. Yeah, like a little bit of softness. Or maybe a little bit of hardness? I want to see what it looks like a little bit brighter. Oh, that's better. I'm gonna try drawing those again. Yeah, but lighter orange makes them look a little more bioluminescent in a way. I like these spots even better than the last time I drew them. If I make them even paler near the top, maybe that'll add a better scale of things. I like that good balance. I think this is something that I was missing from that last one. I'm going to make the brush a little bit smaller to course correct here. 6 should be a good size. I like your choice of characters. Yeah, that would be a fun visual for Carney. Yeah, this looks better for Johnny on this one. Erica's good, no changes. Liz is good. I'm looking through some of my pictures that I want to edit, and I found the one where she looks like Mr. Burns and Randall Weems. I think that's his last name. And that one's going to be so much fun to edit because her nails, all of them are sticking out of her hands, so I'll be doing a lot of Wolverine elongation there. I still have an abundance of pictures that I want to add the layer to. Like, I think I have 36 left, not counting the ones in my pictures to edit folder, since here, some of them I never really added afterwards. I airdropped them to myself, so. And it was also very quickly near the end of October last time, I think, when my friend sent me some really good high definition pictures that I couldn't find. Like this one of Erica where uh, I think I have it in here actually. If I don't, then I maybe already did it. Hmm. Maybe I already. Okay, no, I did not do that one yet. Where she has her hand by her head, and it would be a cute way to show off her snakes. And whenever I found that picture, it was very hard to. It was very hard to find a good one, because all of them were blurry. And I'm also mixing some stuff up with the other edits too, because I've got a bunch of. Let's see, I've got two solos, one for Johnny, one for Erica. I've got some. I've got some group shots coming up. I have some Drerica, John Avis, as per usual. But I also have some ones that I could use for interactions between Erica and Van Helsing and Johnny and Drac. I think I have one extra for. Actually, no, technically I have Even Ground because there's another one that's a full set. Hmm. If Carney thinks that way, he's probably going to get even closer to abstraction than everybody else. So, yeah, I've organized my stuff for next time. So now I've done 3 edits. Solo Johnny, Solo Erica, Slime Genavis, and I feel like I'm good for today. Maybe it's a few minutes early, but I don't know. I think I need some rest. 'Cause I am tired. I don't know why. I did have lunch at Panera before coming here, so maybe it's a side effect of the food coma. So, yeah, that'll be all for today. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate every single one of you. And I will be seeing you again next week, same time, same channel, and same same editing process, I guess you could say. And Panera tasted good, thanks for asking. I got their mac and cheese for the first time. Not only did it taste really good, but it was also small enough for me to eat in one go. And I also had a strawberry banana smoothie. It tasted really good. So, yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate your support, as always. And I will be seeing you next Sunday. Once again, same time, same channel, same activity. And in the meantime, I will be continuing to work on my scripts so that way I can actually have a consistent upload schedule. I am so excited for you guys to see my new video. But until then, oh, this is where the chat is. So, oh, that's why I can't see it, because I need to have OBS thing in the back. Well, anyways. Bye, guys!